This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Ping.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara Sutphen. Tara Sutphen is the author of Blame It on Your Past Lives, Soul Agreements, and The Abenda Chronicles. Grammy-nominated audios, videos, and MP3 series. You can find these MP3 series now at TaraInsight.com.
Welcome to Transformations with Tara. This is Tara Sutphen, and my co-host and guest today is Jason D. McKean. He is the voice of over 1 million recordings of Om recordings around the world. And he has meditations also that are Om, and a long list of Om recordings. So definitely check them out. They're great for meditation. They're great just to listen to. Yeah.
They are great to listen to.
For bringing those out into the world. They're great. So he's doing Japanese sessions now, and he's the Om Tarot Wizard. And so he does a lot of sessions, private sessions, classes. You're busy.
Workshops. Seminars. It's like just keep adding to them as far as like the list. I've got one with our great friend and friend of the show, Scott Grossberg, who
I love him. Yeah.
He has a Facebook group called the Proper Tarot School of Divination.
Mm-hmm.
Proper meaning just covers all things. Not that it's like the correct manner of like, teaching something. It's just covers a lot of ground. And tomorrow at 10 a.m., I'm going to be doing a guest lecture on reading the skeleton keys. So we did that last week. We read them on transformations, but that's going to be a talk. So I'm really looking forward to it. And you can only sign up for it if you go to that Facebook group, the Proper Tarot School of Divination, and sign up for it.
Okay, so you're going to do that again tomorrow?
Yeah. So it'll be a free lecture there. And, what I love about it is Scott will say, "Oh, you're a guest professor." And it's like, well, yes, I guess I am. Thank you.
He's really great.
Yeah.
He is. I mean, Scott is just an incredible metaphysician, and he levitates, and he's worked for Apple. He is an attorney. He's just such an incredible being too. He's a fabulous being.
Yeah. Love Scott Grossberg. So I get to see him tomorrow.
Great learner and scholar in his own right.
Yeah.
So you're one of his professors now in his Proper School of Divination.
The Proper Tarot School of Divination.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow at 10 a.m. So he's like making it easy for the Europeans and all to be able to join in and not have to like come in at 3 a.m. or something like that if it's like in the evening. So it's good. It's all good.
Yeah, Jackie just texted and said she just loves watching us live. Hey, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. Jackie Jordan.
Yeah, Jackie Jordan. So, and she's always TV guest expert. She's great too. If you need a platform, she's great. If you want to be a CTR radio host, you can talk to Cameron at Contact Talk Radio. So just go to the page, get all the information. So
awesome.
Facebook. Yeah. So anyway, Jason, the pre-pandemic you, how have you changed?
Oh boy, there's been so much change going on in the last year, and it feels like it's change that part of it was like forced, right, because of the pandemic. It changed the limitations, the parameters in the outside world as far as how one can move about. It's like beforehand, before the pandemic, I was traveling a lot. I was going to places in Los Angeles, but also, extending that, going up to, Bakersfield and San Luis Obispo and Oakland and Portland and Seattle, these cities, and having classes and expanding the community there. And that all went away just like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but does that mean that one changes, right? At their core, it's like, I still wanted to be able to connect with people and teach Tarot and have people experience the magic of Tarot. So, that did shift. How about yourself?
Well, I never stopped traveling. I'm quite the traveler all the time. So that didn't happen for me as far as the no traveling thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I stopped doing a lot of, I've done mostly groups where, they're friend groups and, definitely their own social groups. So, yeah, so I've done a lot of that. And I haven't done seminars for a while since our last Shaman Summit, which was really incredible. I mean, everybody would have loved to have been there. We only limited to
it's like 20, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, only limited to 20, but it's just an incredible seminar. It's really super great. So anyway, we'll have maybe some of those this year. We're still thinking that through, and it would be so much fun for sure. And
it was it was a really powerful seminar to, have to just kind of like, put a place marker on it, a bookmark. Mm-hmm. It was like, just a really high point. And I know for me, it did allow me to kind of crack open enough to say, here's this new moment that's upon us, and to embrace that moment and not just like, oh my God, this is too much. I can't make that leap. It was like, yeah, I can make this leap. And that was the type of seminar that it was.
Right. Because we had, yeah, right. And we did have people like couldn't come at the, that canceled, but then other people took their place, because of the pandemic was starting. And so everybody was afraid to fly. But, the people who did come in, and, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It was a really good seminar to be going into that, because it was just a lot of healing and a lot of going with the natural flow of life, and that, everything will be okay. And sure enough, everybody's pretty much come through it okay. There's a lot of financial chaos, I know. And just kind of maybe fear thinking. It's still, got out of the political arena, and now it's more in the germ arena. But, everybody needs to get back on track. I say that, the human guidelines are, you wake up with the sun, go down with the moon, and eat well, drink clear water, but you choose love, you are kind. They're important things in life to be on track with your life. And this is the key. The key is to be on track and go forward for you.
I think that one of the things that did change was kind of a daily routine. Certainly when I was not being called to, prepare myself to go out into the world, it was like, oh, okay, now I'm, here at home, mostly, yeah, I've been pretty much at home for the last year, but there was like a change, a shift in just taking care of oneself a little bit more, drinking more water, making rituals of preparing a meal, taking a little bit more time rather than just like, slapping together something or just, knocking something out. It's just like, oh, okay. It's like, because I that for me is something that I don't really spend a lot of time on. I don't like, do that for myself. My wife does. She's great at it. She loves that, and is just more naturally inclined to it. Where I'm kind of more in my head about what it is that I'm going to be doing as far as creating something, or that's where a lot of my energy goes towards, and so just kind of like being a little bit more present, and in honoring the physical, the temple, spending more time with the dogs, has been a lifesaver for me. It's just to be in a calm space and just kind of get down on their level and wrestle with them and just kind of be with them. That I've really cherished that actually.
Mm-hmm.
in the last year, because before I was just like kind of in and out, just like going here and there, and just a few pats on the head and just like, I'll see ya, be a good boy, be a good girl, and so really like kind of getting back into the rhythm of that home life has been really calming for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and but some people have become really afraid to leave their homes, and afraid that there's a mask. You see it all the time. If you don't have a mask on, somebody takes a step back. So like, okay, you're out in the maybe in a park or at the barn, like I am. You just think people are phobic, which it's okay. I was always somebody who used, whenever I went into a grocery store, I always used hand sanitizer when I went back to the car. Way before the pandemic, just because, people have germs or colds and coughs and stuff, and they're touching things, and, I didn't want to touch things. But, I figured there was germs. So I was already there, but I'm just not phobic about it. I want to live in the real world. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as, has your, I mean, I don't think that my core teaching or, the desire to want to share, my enthusiasm with the tarot, I don't think that has changed at all.
Yeah, no. My work didn't change. No, I found that I was busier because people were confused. So they definitely got on it. But I have really great clientele anyway. My regular clientele is just absolutely fantastic. Yeah. And when they click in like that, they, I can help them just gain whatever they need.
Mm-hmm.
If it's wellness, money, success, their projects, making them, giving it a green light. It's really quite phenomenal when people click into doing hypnotherapy and having, using their psychic ability, and I help them feel it out. It's fun.
All right. And, through like the electronic, the digital over Zoom and all that, did, like that's something that I embraced, I just went for it. Mm-hmm. And there was a little bit of a learning curve, but I, just watch some YouTube videos, to just start the process. I'm a big believer in just starting the process. You don't have to have all of the bells and whistles and all that just at the onset. It's, if you have a desire to do something, it's like, move towards it, start to activate it. And, it's like when I first started doing the broadcasts, I just had a natural background behind me of the curtains in the music room here. And it wasn't something that, it was still about the connection, about, talking to people who, were experiencing that uncertainty about,
Mm-hmm.
the time that we're living in. and just being a reassuring voice, or expressing my own fears or concerns. It's like looking to be in a moment together. And again, I think that was um, a natural extension, or like your workshop there that you had in Sedona, the Shaman Apex, where it was kind of a springboard,
Mm-hmm.
for that, because that was like a incredible, like, healing seminar. And it wasn't about just the people doing that, like trying to activate the energy. Is about looking for the participants too, to like activate their own healing energy as well. And so that's kind of an invitation, to be that healing energy out in the world, however you can. If it's by talking with someone, if it's by uh, doing a reading for them, if you're inclined in that way. However it is that your natural healing ability comes across, it's like use it. And it's like the digital realm, that became the place to do that. And I like it. I was a little bit kind of like, no, it has to be live. I like the live and all. And I still like, the live, I think. I just haven't done it in a long time. But the digital realm is still a spiritual realm. It's like your energies are not diminished by the distance, not in the realm of the spiritual, because that is just ever present and all. It's like, it's like when your loved ones are halfway across the world, you're still connected, you're still feeling them, you're still in it. So, it's like that part of my work has not changed whatsoever.
Right, right. Well, I mean, and you changed all to digital format, to whereas I didn't so much change to digital format, but because I always took a lot of phone calls and took a lot of, I take a lot of FaceTimes and different media anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but I've done a lot of one-on-one of sessions with people all during. It's just important for my work to just keep going. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like over time, it's like, for my birthday, it's like I bought myself a green screen and so I could like change up the backgrounds and just make it a more kind of fanciful image. And that's
I
just
was
like,
happy you did that.
well, my background is as an artist, as a filmmaker, and it's like I get it. I get the technology and also it's like, oh, well, I can just incorporate that and look to enhance a message, not to take away, not to make it all about, something that's all, fanciful and all that, and take away from the heart of the tarot, of, any of the meditation work, or, past life regression work that we'll do, via Zoom. It's like, it's like there's it's again not a
It's been
thing.
great. It's been great to have that. It's a great service. But Skype was a great service. I was doing past life regressions in like Malaysia and Indonesia.
Yeah.
Everywhere, Romania, did Skype over the years. The last, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm doing a past life regression for somebody, gosh, I hope they, facilitated. Okay. Because you never know how it's going to pan out, if they can speak loud enough for you to hear them, or, yeah, sure enough, it was good. It was all good.
That's one thing that
never had a problem. So I'm going to knock on wood on that, but yeah.
That's one thing that I learned really early on about, doing the like past life regressions. It's like when someone is speaking in their normal voice, it's like, oh yeah, you can hear and all that. But when they get in meditation, they're like whispery and all that. And it's like, if they don't have a headset, it's like going, can you repeat that, please? Because you'll just be lost as you're directing, their session. It's like you have to hear to be able to, make sure that you're able to report back to them, at some point what their experience is in a cogent manner.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So it's like my pre-pandemic self was.
Yeah. What's your pre-plan?
It was just a little bit more hesitant about, just utilizing everything that, like the Zoom or, whatever platform people use, can be like the FaceTimes or the Google, whatever. But it's like, it was a little bit more just kind of like hesitant. But I think because we all were like kind of forced to do something, to choose, to embrace it or not. It's like, I chose to embrace it. And then, as a result, I've been doing like, 3 classes a week, do a daily tarot meditation moment. And it's something that I enjoy doing. I like having my own TV studio. It's kind of like that kind of weird, way of keeping connected with the world.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, because you're really an outward person. I mean, you've met hundreds, thousands and thousands of people in the last few years.
Yeah.
10 years, you've met thousands and thousands of people. You've read for thousands and thousands of people.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's allowed for, again, where it's not only just limited by, the English language too, but now it's like there's opportunities to read with the Japanese community through a translator, and to just keep expanding, and to.
That's great. I'm glad you're doing those.
Yeah. So I've been able to utilize, some of my production, skills in just the work, and that's, maybe something that I was resisting before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because one gets in a routine, right? One is just kind of busy, and you're sometimes, busy just commuting to places. And then you're kind of locked into a certain, like a store, whether it's somewhere in Los Angeles or somewhere else, and that's that takes time. But I'm utilizing my time to, I've created albums, more music with Om Cosmos, some meditations. Now I'm writing a book on the tarot. And so, these will hopefully be, as the world opens up again, they will be a new avenue of connection, of, going out into the world. And it's like, hey, here's a book, and utilizing that for, creating new inroads. Mm-hmm. Exposing more people to the magic of the tarot.
So fun. I mean, to think, I just pushed you and you became. Well, he was behind the curtain, he's such a great producer and such a great commercial artist. But then I gave you made you do the psychic boot camp.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. It's, sometimes we see potential in others, right, that they don't see themselves.
Right.
And, it's like, if one opens that door enough so that someone can say, oh, maybe I can do this. And you have done that for me in a number of different areas. So thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, it's fun for me. It's fun for me to teach and to help people get into their next stage. That seems to be my thing anyway. So, it was fun to do it for you, and you took it and ran, and I love it. I do love it. And so Jason did the psychic boot camp, and that's 4 days of morning till night, late night, doing every divination system. And I assess what you're good at and what you're, need help with.
Yeah.
And just clarify it. Just keep clarifying it for somebody. And so it was great.
You find that people will, as far as how they connect with their intuition and all, that like the stumbling blocks can be where they just kind of see themselves as psychic, or do you think that they are psychic? There's a lot of information that's coming in and they just need to.
Well, I think that everyone is psychic. Not everybody is naturally. It's like tennis or any other sort of hobby or sport. You have to work at it. But and some people are naturally inclined toward it. So, I've seen a lot where, like I had the teen class for 10 years. They're a great example because, they're bumbling kids. They're like a bunch of puppies, rolling over each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so, they would do psychic stuff and, boy, the stuff they would come out with and, for other people, it was like, whoa, but I never had to reprimand anybody. Usually somebody would say, oh, you're hurting my feelings because, and it would be like, okay, so how could you say that differently? So it was all good, as far as the way that they all learned the cute little teenagers, but they sometimes did the same thing that a lot of people do is they get into, there's a very fine line between reality and delusion. Psychic work is not just a red light going off in your head. So the bottom line is that you have to come to know a knowing. And so that knowing is being tactful, being respectful, and having a long history of keeping maybe notes or recordings that that you're on the right track with somebody. You can't just make things up and expect them to be, or because a lot of times you're making up stuff, that's maybe happening in your life, and you have to be careful not to project it onto someone else's life. That's a lot of what projection is. What you're thinking is delusion. That's it. A lot of people do stuff like that. To whereas okay, so I try to help people to clarify how they perceive and how they can be psychic. Like some people are not, they don't see clearly in a manifest form. They see more in a symbolic form. And so you have to learn, okay, I have to learn the symbology of what I'm seeing. It's like the tarot, like some people are good at the bones. Some people are good at, tea leaves. Some people are good at, you name it, different divination systems. So it's just how you see and how you interpret things.
Yeah, it's there is that fine line between trusting what it is that you're getting, what you're receiving, and then being able to put that into words that like match a frequency of a person that you're reading for.
Yeah.
And it's like oneself can be good practice for that, as far as like it can be. Not that it's easy, because it can be like sometimes more difficult to like read for ourselves than, and I hear that a lot from students. It's like oh, it's easy to read so-and-so, and it's like one does pick up on patterns within other people, right? They can sometimes see those patterns a lot easier than they can see their own patterns, because with yourself, it's like you have everything. You have like the whole mix there, and you know your history just, from day one. But with someone else, it's like, what one will put out there is usually a consistent manner of how they act. And most people, not everyone, some people are all over, but generally, it's like, people will act in consistent ways. They'll choose certain words, they'll choose, you can tell if someone is more intellectual, if they're more mentally, like they're thinking about things, if they're working through a situation, as opposed to someone who's more impulsive. It's like, let's just do this, let's not worry about that, let's just go straightforward on that. And so these are frequencies that people operate at, and when you're getting what you're receiving, it's about tuning into their frequency. So there can be a lot of like natural talents at work, because it's like, obviously, as spiritual beings, as humans, it's like we're already have the equipment to be able to tune in. But sometimes it's just that practice of it, and having someone such as yourself, Tara, to help guide, to help shape someone into recognizing their talents, their gifts, and to give them that space to do it. I always tell my students, when they're reading me, it's like, you use that as an opportunity to to go for it. And and then I'll say, but be kind. It's like, but with everyone, it's like we're all works in progress. It's like show compassion. It's like don't lock into condemning someone to a certain, if like a 5 of cups shows up, it's like one doesn't condemn someone to, it looks like you're in pain here, and you're always going to be in pain. There's nothing that you can do to get out of pain.
For me, right?
That's like, no, that's not what our journey is. Our journey is to, if we're in a place of fear, to work through that fear. If we're in a place of suffering, to work through that. If we're in a place of joy, to be able to expand.
Well, that's really a part of unattachment anyway. Yeah.
How is that? Explain that.
Unattachment, 5 of Wands.
No, 5 of Cups.
Oh, 5 of Cups, rather. Yeah, no, unattachment. It's because it's it's not really feeling as deep as you think you're feeling. I feel that is a card of coming together and not really wanting to be there. Not really wanting to fulfill the responsibility, not really wanting to fulfill a friendship, not really wanting something so you're going forward anyway on, because you're going forward. All Wands cards are going forward.
Cups.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cups. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, I guess we have to do Wands too. 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands is going forward, but that's the games that people play. 5 of Wands is all about the games that people play, and the 5 of Cups is all about the attachment of not wanting to get into those games. There you go.
Okay, thank you.
I guess I needed to bring it in. Let's choose a card. Let's choose a card for the yeah. So what were you dealing with before? Let's just go ahead and choose a card. Let's see. I'll choose a card for Jason. What were you choosing? What were you dealing with before?
Before the pandemic?
You were being introverted. You were a little.
What card is that?
Down. It was the Hangman.
Oh yeah.
So it was an introverted position. not stepping into your full personal power, which I have noticed that you've been stepping in, but great now. Yeah, because you know what I noticed. This is what I noticed is that there was a lot of noise. A lot of noise. I don't know if it's just me on a psychic level that there was just so much noise. But this last year it stopped a lot. I mean, and worldly, not just, because politics were loud, everything was loud. And now all of a sudden everything is silenced, but people's minds are still going round and round and round, and that's loud. But even then, if they start meditating, if they start walking forward just easily and calming down, they're going forward as well. It's all about calming down. That the planet needed to slow down a little bit because we're moving at 65 million miles an hour. Gravity is keeping us on the surface. So we get stuck that, there's no change. Well, there's a lot of change at every, megasecond. So the thing is that we have to be really clear on what we would like to do with our short lifespan on this planet. So, okay, slow down and think about it. So that was you. You were maybe thinking about it too much and you just started doing it. Okay, so I'm going to pull a card for you right now. What do you need to know, like what's happening right now in your life?
Okay.
I got the wheel.
The Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune. So, it's saying that, a lot of people are swimming, really. And so you're not swimming. You're at the top right now. You're holding all the balls in the air, and you can actually hold up the karma for people. You can hold them in sacred space. And so that's what you're doing a lot, is you're holding people into their sacred time right now. So you're helping people as far as seeing where they need to get going and giving them some confidence.
Yeah, it's like one of the things that I saw very early on was, if one has an opportunity to slow down, right, to have a little bit of time for themselves, it's like, what do they do with that time? Mm-hmm. And to really like just kind of check in with oneself and say, do I want to just keep doing the same things that I'm doing, or is this an opportunity to maybe take it in another direction, or to have another level of expertise that I'm adding to my repertoire, or what can I do for myself to benefit my place in the world, to deepen my connection to a higher sense of purpose. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have taken that. They've gone for deepening their own relationship to their own life, and it's like it's been really amazing to see that. And it's like, just because the opportunity's there doesn't mean that everyone is maybe at that same place, ready to do that. But some people might be doing it now. It's like, maybe because of all the time that has occurred, in the last year, maybe they're just coming to that now. And, that's fine. Mm-hmm. It's like, there's no set, time schedule for everyone to just be on the same, mindset, or, being in the same place. It's never been that way anyway, right, on the planet. But those who are looking to have a higher sense of, their purpose, it's like, it's a great time to do that. So this is the card that I chose, for
you.
Yes. Yes. As far as, just, I see the 4 as a card of alignment, the 4 of Pentacles, where
Oh, that's nice.
there's a pentacle in the head, there's one at the heart, and there's 2 at the feet. And to be able to have that alignment of head and heart, so that, one is not fighting the other. It's like, a lot of times the heart wants to go this way, the head wants to, go that way.
Right.
And we can be at odds within ourselves. And so, being in an aligned space like that, where the feet, can look to put into action, where one's inner being is. It's like the feet take us out, and we do the work. And when one is in that space of being centered and calm within, there's no raging fire inside, or that battle. It's like, one can get a lot done.
One can get a lot done. Yeah.
All right. So do you want a card for yourself?
Sure.
So
pre-pandemic. Yeah.
Pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Oh, the 9 of Wands. There we go. There's some wands.
Yes, there's some wands. Yeah, I was traveling like a wild person then too.
Traveling, lots of things that you were going for, as far as different areas that one is passionate about, and always moving forward. This is a card of where one does not want to go backwards in life. One gets in a place of like just seeing ahead, and it's like, no, that's what I want. And they know what's behind them. It's like, all the battles that you have fought, and that you're not just looking to go back and just kind of, re-litigate those situations, or, it's like, nope, done, moving ahead.
That's right. Yeah, I was that definitely before the pandemic. Always on the always in the forward movement.
So this is the
mine now.
The now the Knight of Swords.
Nice.
And the Knight of Swords, is knights are cards of action, where the knights are the warriors, and they're the ones who are oops, I dropped the card.
What falls at the floor falls at your door. Yeah.
Where the knights, they're warriors. They learn to temper their fear. They know what their call to service is, and they don't get in their own way. They don't like just question. It's like, well, what's my path? What's my path? It's like they have a sense of knowing what their path is. They're called to it, and they go for it. And the Knight of Swords in the Wizard's Tarot, it looks like he's in this place of surrender, right? But it's not that he is surrendering to an enemy or anything. It's like more like being in this state of grace, of just surrendering to that larger calling, and knowing that
it's like he's ready to fly.
Well, he is in the sky. He is flying, and the sky is that environment that one operates in, as far as that place where one can have no limits put on them. So I'm seeing that your terrain has expanded, and will expand, and your sense of just going
flying again probably in the next few weeks,
and just I mean, but being able to not limit yourself at all, that's like an amazing aspect of it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and I always use the Knight cards, like the Knight of Swords, as you're going back to do something that you've already been doing. You know, it's a direction to bring the past along with you, all your teaching, all your lessons, all the goodness. You know,
Yeah.
because that it's a mind card. You know, those are all the swords are about the mind.
And with the mind, there's like if the mind is the umbrella, it's like underneath that, it's like, you have identity, you have communication, you have perception, a mindset, right? And I like to think of that Knight of Swords as a card of embracing one's identity,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that it's connected to uh, a higher service. Knights are warriors. They're powerful, but they're also servants to a higher ideal, to a king, a queen, that kind of hierarchy. And so when you know your calling, when you know what it is that you're here to do, it's like you don't get in your own way. You don't like just, question, it's like, well, who am I? What do I do in this moment? It's like, you know who to be in the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Always. And all problems can be solved easily.
Yeah. So, this, like going forward, right? Because, it's like, we can take a look at ourselves before, the pandemic, and then, we see ourselves as evolving, right? As being able to adapt. It's like for myself, do I see myself just being in the digital realm? It's like, no, it's like at a point, it's like there will be like the live engagements once again and all, but this knowledge about the digital has been, invaluable as far as it is something that is now a part of me, and I do enjoy it. I enjoy it very much. And not just because, oh, okay, I can just end this and then go, make myself a sandwich, as far as it's not just the ease of that. It's there's something that I really connect to in this. So, being able to expand it, but not just make it the only thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
And how about yourself as far as?
Should I pull a card?
Did you pull a card on yourself?
No, it's Page of Coins. Says nice.
What do you
Going
see in
away
that?
from all that. Well, I always think of the Page of Coins is the Earth cards, the Pentacles are so nice as far as it's just a time to relax a little bit, not and going away from all that noise. Yeah, from the noise. And you don't always know where you were going, but you trust the path. And so I trust the path. Just trust. And I have that coined phrase I use that, I walk a beautiful life. And I just keep walking, going forward.
Yeah, that idea of the spiritual life being the easy life, it's or the easy path. It's not that it's the easy path, because it's when one is in a place of that being of service and all, one is kind of walking down a road where the mind doesn't know like all the details of what's ahead, but you're activating other parts of your being. You're activating these areas of trust within your spiritual intelligence, within your heart center, and you're, putting forth that energy too. So it's not just about like figuring out all the right moves so that you walk the perfect path. It's where, you're engaged, you're invested in the bigger aspects of life.
Mm-hmm.
And, so, being able to temper the mind, so it's not like being, well, what about this and that? And, where we get into those places of anxiety and stuff.
Oh yeah. No, I don't have that.
It's that larger,
Mm-hmm.
that larger picture that we embrace.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I believe that, in the mind programming. So, even I do it. I do the mind programming all the time.
What? Even you do it?
Yeah, because in meditation, because you have to practice what you preach. I've noticed a lot of people that don't practice what they preach, and it's hard for me. It's like, do it. Like, stop knocking people down. Don't have too much judgment. Have good judgment. Don't have where people need to be picked up. They don't need to be shoved down. People who are already terrible themselves, they're terrible to themselves. They need to be picked up. If you can't pick them up, you can at least not push them any further down. It's a thing. It's a thing for me. So, pick a card for our producer.
The Three of Cups.
Three of Cups.
The Three of Cups. The card of abundance. The energy of when you plant seeds for your crop there, make sure that you put in like all of the best seeds, and that you invest love, that you take care of it, that you water it, that every day it's like you are sending it a lot of positive energy, because that's what's going to come up. That's when harvest time, it's about being in gratitude when the harvest comes, and that cornucopia of health and goodness, comes up. It's like it's about being able to celebrate that. So catch yourself at every step of the way where you're feeding something with a lot of positive energy, so that what comes up is something to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron, do it. Cameron.
Thank you. Just a second here. I'll just
you
give
want to be
the
a host
audience a
on
quick
CTR.
feedback look.
Pardon?
Oops.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Can you see me now?
Yes.
Sorta.
Oh, yay.
You're this weird kind of sound batting creature.
Yeah.
This part of your background.
Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it.
Awesome. You're welcome.
So Tara, how can people find you?
TaraInsight.com. TaraInsight.com. I have a hypnotist training. Starts the 19th.
Of April?
April 19th.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
So you can find it on the website. Find it on the website. You can find it. I'll put it up on my Instagram and on my Facebook today. How about you, Jason? JasonDMcKean.com, JasonDMcKean.com. And that's the same on Facebook, Jason D. McKean, and Jason Tarot Wizard on Instagram. All right. That's cool, Jason. So this weekend, let's see, it's really going to start the 11th, but it will be also the 12th, is the new moon.
Oh.
New moon. And it's, starting in Aries. And so, it's a really a time to be in resonance and going forward and, for the year. And so it's all about being in your best positive self, all about mastering yourself this month.
Beautiful. Thank you, Tara.
You're welcome. Okay. Lots of blessings, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to Transformations with Tara. Tara hopes this program brings guidance and insight towards a better tomorrow. If you have any questions or inquiries, or would just like to know more about Tara Sutphen's workshops and seminars or private sessions, please visit her website now at tarainsight.com. Until next time, many blessings.